Hi, my name is Bridget Ulrich, and I am conducting this presentation for the Spring 2017 Criminology course offered through Southeast Missouri State. The police officer that I interviewed for this presentation was Bernie Richter, and she was employed in Northeast Illinois in a semi-rural city that was transitioning to urban. And the population at the time of her employment was 7,800 people. She had quite a array of job duties, everything from just traditional police officer work to city ordinance, uh, animal control, friendly liaison, and so on and so forth. She was employed in that position for 3 years, and at the time she was married and had 3 children. The corrections officer that I interviewed for this presentation was Amy Stalder. She is currently employed at Eman Complex in Florence, Arizona, which is a male prison that houses sex offenders, gang affiliates, murderers, and so forth. Her job title is correctional officer, and she has been there over 9 years. This is a quick overview of my interview with Bernie Richter. And this is a quick overview of my interview with Amy Stalder. So there were a lot of interesting responses that I got from both the people that I interviewed. Both Bernie and Amy listed multiple and overlapping reasons for why they believed people commit crimes. However, they each listed things that the other did not, but I found them to be interrelated. Both Bernie and Amy acknowledged the role crimes play in many youth's lives. Bernie stated that she believes much of the crime in youth is due to impulse behavior, and Amy explained that she works with many inmates who start breaking the law in their 20s and even younger. One of the interesting notes that I found from Amy was that she made a distinction between sex offenders and other types of crime that are committed. She says that in regards to sex offenders, it's often impossible to rehabilitate, and many of those people will die in prison when they're elderly. Bernie Richter and Amy's responses for number 3 differed as well. Amy has not worked in a woman's facility, but believes that motives for gender-based crime do exist. Bernie told me that for women, a driving factor she believes could be poverty in order to care for the children, so on and so forth. In response to number 4, Bernie explains a wide variety of possibilities, such as learning their lesson from the time they spend in jail, to just gaining maturity, relations with others, prospects of goals in the future, such as gainful employment, whereas Amy states that the one reason she believes is that because they miss their families. She also states that many of them return, and I quote her as saying, like Motel 6 will leave the light on. In regards to number 5, Bernie makes a distinction between violent and nonviolent crime. She explains that violent crimes are usually a result of being brought up in a violent environment. It could be passion-related, lack of thought, etc. Amy states that violent crimes are usually a result of severe mental issues, but also includes that property crimes may stem from the same issues. She states that each case is unique and mentions that crimes geared by anger typically result in an inmate wanting to take medication to actually combat that thought. When discussing the prevention of crime, Bernie emphasizes the importance of a proper upbringing, teaching the children personal responsibility and consequences, nipping major crime in the bud by treating minor offenses very seriously, and preventing drug and alcohol addiction. Amy emphasizes the importance of law and upholding the law, such as increasing the risk of an offender getting caught. Both Amy and Bernie believe that crime can never be fully prevented. Bernie explains how we write more and more laws every day, and how the writing of such laws makes pretty much everyone a criminal. And Amy explains that people will always find a way to break the law. She explains that many who break the laws rarely want to work on that problem. In regards to number 8, which is one of the questions that I posed, they both listed distinctly different crimes that they believe are more difficult to address than others. Bernie listed poverty, drug, and family-related crimes, and Amy listed sex offenders. And when asked if they noticed any patterns in crime in the past decade, Bernie believed that youth violent crime was on the upswing, and Amy explained that she had noticed that inmates are lacking the ability to own up to their bad behavior and take responsibility. She believes that this is enabled by their families. In some of Bernie's responses, I believe that differential association theory is reflected. This theory explains that through interaction, values and attitudes for criminal behavior are learned. So I found this especially relevant to her answer to number 5, which she explained that violent crimes are usually a result of being brought up in a violent environment, hence learning that behavior. When discussing the prevention of crime, she also emphasized the importance of teaching children personal responsibility and consequences. I also believe that conflict theory is loosely present in some of her responses. Conflict theory explains that society is constantly in conflict due to competition for limited resources. And in regards to number 3, she explains that a driving factor of crime could be poverty, and this response is also echoed in number 8, where Bernie listed poverty-related crimes as being difficult to address. So, with these theories in mind, I think it could potentially result in someone in her position addressing the family and friends of the deviant, not just the deviant themselves, and recognizing the need to address limited resources in impoverished areas. I believe labeling theory is somewhat present in some of Amy's responses. This theory explains that being labeled a deviant leads to the person engaging in deviant activity. And she makes the distinction, especially in regards to sex offenders and other crimes, and explained that sex offenders often die in prisons as elderly people. So according to this theory, this could be due to them being labeled sex offenders in the first place that causes this perpetual problem. Enemy theory is also present in some of Amy's replies. This theory explains that there's a lack of ethical and social standards and or other explanations of or expectations of behavior that are unclear. And this would be present in Amy's last response to number 9, where she explains that many deviants do not take responsibility. Perhaps this is due to them not knowing that it's wrong or unclear that it is wrong. And this could potentially result in someone in her position expecting certain deviants to make repeat crimes and not expecting certain deviants to want to address their wrongdoings. I just want to say thank you to both Bernie and Amy for allowing me to interview them. It was very insightful, And it was also interesting considering both of them are women that work in this field. So thank you guys so much.